Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the World Class Championship Wrestling Review Series. We are on September the 19th, 1987. And certainly the quality of programming has changed, not for the better. Obviously, this last couple of years. Now, to be fair, even though I say it's not for the better, it's not where it was in 82 through 86. I will say it is still better than most of what WWE puts out today by comparison, just in terms of storytelling of individual matches. While the matches are slower, and that is my preference, also, I at least care what happens to most of the characters, although I don't think there are as many characters as there generally were in previous areas. But anyway, we move to Vince Apollo versus Al Madril, and this is going to be a very basic match as one can be expected. Madril been around the area for a good bit, probably on and off several times since the beginning of the promotion, here most recently as a babyface, as those who've been following our action know. Once again, probably within the next week or so, we're going to have the entire world-class run that's available on the network in episodic form. Boy Tony is on the outside supporting Apollo. Apollo is a relative newcomer and doesn't really have a lot to show for himself. Very basic wrestler, but then Madril is too. Madril runs into the corner, ends up injuring himself in the process. 1-2, and out the back door we go. Hard shot. And again, shots by Boy Tony, and then Apollo takes over. Tony comes back up, tries to interfere again. We do end up getting a clothesline, and Madril gets a victory, and basically 3 men beat up on Al Madril to close that particular segment. Shawn Simpson and Eric Emery are up next. Eric Emery, of course, a former tag team champion. Eric Emery from Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix is not known for having from what I can remember, a really strong wrestling history, at least in the 80s. Simpson, the younger of the Simpson twins, or Simpson boys more accurately. I don't know why I want to call them twins. I think Global, they might have called them twins. Anyway, years between them, there's no way they're twins, duh. Anyhow, we kind of see Emery take over after early headlocks by Simpson. Emery with a high vertical suplex, and he's walking the man around. And then clotheslines and the like, and big body slam, and that is that again. Emery goes to the top rope, misses a flying headbutt from the top, a la Dynamite Kid, so you can imagine. Sunset flip by Simpson, 1-2, and Emery comes out the back door. Backslide by Simpson, 1-2, and again Emery comes out the back door. Amazing that there's just the series of pinfalls making matches count. You don't see nearly enough of that today. Off the ropes, drop kick by Simpson. Simpson is always on the motion, being a young 18-year-old kid. Emery manages to put his bottom foot over the rope, and that is there. Emery does get a cheater's victory here, and we kind of move forward from there. Then we see Bruiser Brody talking about Al Perez, talking about wanting to be champion, talking about wanting to get even with Gary Hart. And what a better way than to become the champion. It's there. Brody as champion would be an interesting run, to say the very least. We see Brody kind of talk about wanting to get even with Gary Hart. Brody has been an enemy of Hart for several years now. Abdullah the Butcher, Blackjack Mulligan, the Mercenary, and all points in between. Then we see Manuel Villalobos against Al Perez. Of course, Perez, the Latin heartthrob, a guy who really, I don't know if I would say shouldn't have to be in a situation of this nature, but still kind of working as the guy who they built the company around. Perez goes right to work on Villalobos with reverse chin locks and the like. Sends Villalobos to the outside of the ring. Both guys fighting on the outside. Perez takes the advantage there, beating him down quite a bit, using the ring apron and other aspects to drive him into the ringside area. Perez slows the match down, goes back in, tries to get an advantage, and does everything he can here. Big backbreaker by Perez. Perez certainly uses power. Villalobos does a little bit more than would be expected. Then you see a figure four by Perez. Perez hooks the figure four in, and referee has trouble getting him to break. Villalobos is relatively incapable of continuing, and others come out to try and save, including but not limited to Al Madril and the like. Then we move to an announcement from the nature of Mark Lawrence. Basically, Lawrence says that Kevin Von Erich has gotten revenge against Brian Adias for the spike. We move to a six-man tag team match. Brian Adias, Ninja, and Ted Arsini versus the Spoiler, Tony Atlas, and Skip Young. Percy Pringle is along with his trio. Not particularly, as mentioned, I've never been a fan of 6-man, 8-man, 10-man tags. I just find them to be too clunky. I find them to be bookings for the sake of not moving stories along. I know some people love them, especially they are loved in Japan. They're also loved as trio matches in Mexico, but they're just not my thing. I didn't grow up with them. I don't enjoy them. I like tag matches. I like singles matches. A gimmick match when placed properly, but I've never been much for multi-person matches. Spoiler and Ted Arsini managed to be okay with each other. Spoiler comes out of there really hard on a hip toss. That's because Arsini moves around like a bucket of cement. Match is obviously, kind of on the slower side. We see Tony Atlas come in. Atlas in with Ted Arsini. They're going to do their bit to do power moves. Atlas breaks the full Nelson hold. And then we kind of see an interference spot from the benefit of and a victory with the Texas Championship for Ted Arsini is shown in a clip match, but the heels get the victory in the 6-man. Then we move to the main event here, or the main event segment. Kevin Von Erich says he finally got even with Brian Adias. They show a clip from a house show in Fort Worth on Labor Day, so a few weeks before. Adias is in the clutches of, or Al Perez is in the clutches of the Claw, and so then Adias runs out, tries to interfere, and in a really interesting maneuver, there is a loop on the steel ring post, and Kevin Von Erich drives a steel chair into the hand, which is threaded through the loop, breaking either the hand or the finger or both of Brian Diaz. Good way to get even. Anyway, that will close us for this particular day. We'll be back with more right after this.